This one's a little bit deeper, and we're going to touch upon the Anunnaki for just a bit. Enlil, and Enki, and all them people. So the question is, who was the one of us? And this is in reference to how we were discussing earlier in another video, the fact that it said now that man has become one of us, we must kick him out the garden so that he can't reach out and eat from the tree of life and therefore live forever. So who is the one of us? Now, many people are going to go back to let us create man in our own image and say that you're talking about the terminology that's used there is El. Okay, you got three terminology, and put it that way. You got El, Eloi, and Elohim. El is the masculine of God. Eloi is the feminine aspect of God. Elohim is the joining of the masculine and the feminine. That's what most people are going to try to tell you. But in truth, El is just a male version of a god based on their perceptions of that time frame, and perception is reality. Eloi is the female version. Elohim means both gods and goddesses. Where would they get that idea from, and why is there them becoming like one of us? We have to look at the fact that the Hebrews came out of the Canaanites. The Canaanites and the Babylon came out of the Babylonians. The Babylonians go on. You get to the Sumerians. In the Sumerian mythos, you have, in religion, you have the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki mean from heaven to earth they came. Sounds like aliens. But in their godheads, the way they look at it, the way they see God, is the ones in the garden, and that's where this story is taking place, in the garden of Eden, which you have the story of Enlil and Enki getting into an argument because some of the other Anunnaki were pissed off by doing all this hard labor. So Enki said, well, let us create man in our own image. Him and Harsag and Enlil, they're down in the Apsu creating man under Anu's direction. Anu's their dad. Well, so that's where the let us make man. So when Enlil finds out that man is able to reproduce, to which they were not supposed to be able to reproduce, and the man we're talking about is Adapa and Titi, they were the higher elevation versions of man because they tried 16 different versions before they got Adapa and Titi. That us is Enlil talking to Enki, Ninharsag, Anu, and whoever else, the higher echelon, the higher caste system of an Anunnaki, is saying that we got to kick man out of Eden, which was an enclosure. It wasn't a garden so much, it was an enclosure where the gods, so-called gods, existed, lived around, walked around in the cool of the day, and they managed the operations of all the other men and the gold manufacturing and everything else that was happening between the Anunnaki and humans. So when he said we got to kick man out and learning from the tree of life, the tree of life was represented as a science. It is a science is what the tree of life represented of how to make life